Poland. Most people think factories, agriculture, maybe the recent energy headlines. But while the world wasn't watching, Europe's economic map got redrawn. Poland deployed a secret weapon, not tanks, not gas. Talent. Over 500,000 software developers. That's more than France, more than countries that spent decades building tech reputations. And now, Google just dropped $2 billion on a data center in Warsaw. Microsoft's training 100,000 AI specialists there. Intel's planning semiconductor fabs. Every major tech company is racing east. But here's what nobody's asking. Why Poland? Why now? And is the West already too late to catch up? For decades, Poland meant one thing economically: heavy industry, factories, manufacturing. The coal belt, that was the script. But scripts change. Today, Poland's IT workforce stands at 500,000 to 650,000 professionals. Let that sink in. That's Central and Eastern Europe's largest tech talent pool, built in under a decade while Western Europe debated innovation policy. And here's the part that challenges every assumption about European tech hierarchies. Poland now has more software developers than France. France, a G7 economy with triple the GDP. This wasn't supposed to happen. Traditional economic models predicted Poland would remain a manufacturing hub, maybe advance to mid-tier assembly. Instead, the country built an army of coders, data scientists, and AI specialists ranked third globally for problem-solving skills by HackerRank. Third. Worldwide. Not good for Eastern Europe. Not impressive for the price point. Genuinely elite. The numbers expose a quiet revolution. While Germany struggled with tech talent shortages and the UK lost developers post-Brexit, Poland graduated 74,000 ICT students yearly from over 85 universities, the largest STEM graduate pool per capita in the entire European Union. This pipeline didn't appear overnight. It was deliberate, systematic, a national strategy that Western capitals missed entirely. And the timing, perfect. As AI and cloud computing exploded globally, Poland had battle-ready talent waiting. Therefore, when tech giants needed to scale fast without Silicon Valley's inflated costs or London's visa nightmares, they looked east. What they found wasn't just cheap labor. They found world-class engineers at a fraction of Western prices, inside the EU regulatory framework, in the same time zone. The secret weapon wasn't hidden in bunkers. It was sitting in Krakow apartments, Warsaw co-working spaces, Wrocław innovation labs. Talk is cheap. Talent pools sound impressive on paper. But when Google moves $2 billion, you pay attention. In 2024, Google announced a hyperscale data center in Warsaw, operational by 2026. $2 billion, not a pilot program, not a small satellite office, a full infrastructure bet on Poland as Central Europe's cloud and AI backbone, generating over 500 high-value jobs. This wasn't about cost savings. Google doesn't spend billions to save millions. This was about capacity, speed to market, and accessing talent that could actually build next-generation systems. Microsoft saw the same opportunity. Their AI innovation hub in Warsaw and Krakow isn't just an office, it's a talent factory. The goal? Train 100,000 AI specialists by 2026 through partnerships with over 100 Polish universities. That's a 20% AI job growth rate in 2205 alone. Microsoft's betting Poland becomes Europe's AI training ground, the place where the next wave of machine learning engineers gets forged. Then Intel entered. Semiconductors, the most strategic, capital-intensive, geopolitically sensitive industry on Earth. Intel's planning major R&D facilities and potential fabrication plants in Poland, leveraging that 74,000 ICT student pipeline. If this materializes, Poland doesn't just host software teams, it becomes central to Europe's semiconductor independence. These aren't isolated bets. Over 430 foreign companies have established R&D centers in Poland. From fintech to biotech, from automotive software to cybersecurity. The sector hit 8.3 billion euros in revenue, up from practically nothing a decade ago. Therefore, this pattern reveals something critical. Poland isn't an outsourcing destination anymore, it's an innovation hub. When companies build R&D centers, they're not looking for cheap execution. They're hunting for brains that can invent, solve, and compete. But why? What makes Polish developers worth these billion-dollar bets when Berlin, Paris, and Amsterdam already exist? Here's where the data gets uncomfortable for Western Europe. A senior Java developer in Poland earns around $70,000 annually. In the United States, $126,000. Same skill level, same output quality, 44% price difference. Polish developer hourly rates range from $50 to $99. That's 40 to 50% cheaper than German or American equivalents, yet HackerRank consistently ranks Polish coders third worldwide for algorithms and problem solving. Third. This isn't a good value proposition. This is elite talent at mid-tier pricing. A cost-quality arbitrage that Western CFOs dream about. One US CTO who hired Polish developers put it bluntly, Polish Java devs at 70,000 deliver US-level quality at half the cost. Our project shipped 20% faster. 20% faster, because the team wasn't just cheaper. They were better organized, more motivated, and brought zero time zone friction for European and East Coast US clients. An engineering lead hiring in Wrocław noted the absurdity. 115 to 165 euros per day for senior developers who rank top 3 globally. It's a no-brainer versus German rates. German senior developers cost double that for comparable output. Western European HR teams building R&D in Krakow echo this. 600,000 professionals, EU compliant, 50% cheaper, transformed our development pipeline. The software house, Poland's top-rated dev firm, maintains a 98% client retention rate. You don't get those numbers from mediocre work. Therefore, companies aren't sacrificing quality for cost, they're getting both. And that changes the game entirely. But the story gets stranger. While US tech salaries grew 15% from 2002 to 2004, Polish IT salaries surged 38%. The gap is closing, but slowly enough that the arbitrage remains powerful. Poland's developers are getting wealthier fast, a sign of genuine, sustained demand, not a temporary outsourcing fad. This cost-skill combination is why job postings exploded 68% year-over-year in the first half of 22,000. 24,500 listings in 6 months. Warsaw, Krakow, Wrocław. These aren't household names in global tech yet, but they're becoming Europe's next-tier tech capitals, hosting over 60,000 IT firms and emerging as viable alternatives to Berlin, Amsterdam, and Stockholm. Krakow alone built a reputation for robust R&D infrastructure and a thriving startup ecosystem that rivals Western cities twice its size. Walk through Wrocław's tech district, and you'll see the physical manifestation of this boom gleaming innovation labs, international corporate offices, co-working spaces filled with developers speaking 6 languages. This isn't accidental. It's the result of 85 universities pumping 74,000 ICT graduates into the workforce annually. The largest per capita STEM output in the EU, creating a self-replenishing talent reservoir. Think of Poland like a hidden gym producing world champion athletes at half the trainer cost. Everyone flocks there to build unbeatable teams without travel hassles. The athletes are elite. The infrastructure is modern, and because it's inside the EU, there are no legal nightmares, no compliance risks, no cultural barriers that plague offshoring to distant continents. This creates a self-reinforcing loop. Foreign investment pours in, universities expand programs, salaries rise, that 38% increase from 22 to 22.4. Rising salaries attract more students become more developers attract more investment. Therefore, Poland's tech boom isn't a bubble waiting to pop, it's a flywheel gaining momentum. The more it grows, the stronger the fundamentals become. Warsaw's Google data center doesn't just create 500 jobs, it signals to every other tech company that Poland is a serious play, which triggers the next wave of investment, which trains the next cohort of specialists. By 2206, ICT exports are projected to exceed $13 billion. That's not rounding errors. That's a foundational economic shift. So where does this end? Short term, the trajectory is clear. Poland's IT market is projected to grow from $9.2 billion in 2026, driven by insatiable demand for AI and cybersecurity. Job growth will likely exceed 68% as automation integrates across industries. The boom continues. Medium term, 22.8 to 22.9, analysts forecast a $12 to $14 billion market. Warsaw and Krakow solidify positions among Europe's top 10 tech cities. Foreign R&D centers increase by another 40%, reaching over 600. At that point, Poland stops being Eastern Europe's tech hub and becomes simply Europe's tech hub. Long term? By 2036, the market could hit $18.1 billion, doubling from today's baseline. ICT exports could exceed $20 billion. If Poland sustains its STEM pipeline and retains top talent, it has a legitimate case for becoming Europe's leading semiconductor and AI development center. But here's the question that haunts this entire story. Is it too late to catch the West, or is Poland on the cusp of surpassing it? The data suggests Poland isn't catching up. It's already ahead in specific metrics that matter: developer volume, skill rankings, cost efficiency, growth velocity. Germany's tech sector is stagnating. France can't match the talent output. The UK lost ground post-Brexit. However, challenges remain. Brain drain is minimal now, but if Western salaries converge too slowly, top Polish talent might still migrate. The 38% salary growth helps, but the gap persists. As of March 2026, we're watching an economic transformation in real time, not a final destination, an ongoing shift. Therefore, the real question isn't whether Poland has found a secret weapon. It has. The question is whether Western Europe realizes what's happening before the gap becomes permanent. What do you think? Has Poland already won Europe's tech race? Or will established hubs adapt in time? If you want more data-driven insights into the forces redrawing Europe's economic map, the rises, the declines, the power shifts mainstream media ignores, subscribe to Economics Edge. We deliver the honest depth you won't find anywhere else.